Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten. By sheer coincidence, this movie quote from V for Vendetta isn't just a movie quote, not for me at least. For me, it's a perfect summary of my experience with cancer, and let me explain to you why. The 5th of November is when I was diagnosed, November 5th, 2012. And for those of you who may not know what the gunpowder treason is, it's basically when a group of Englishmen back in the early 1600s tried but failed to assassinate an English king. And if you can see the metaphor, I basically am trying to say that cancer failed to take me. Hi everyone, my name is Tulsi. I'm a first-year student here at Western. As I said, I was diagnosed with lymphoma, which is the type of cancer, in November of 2012, which led to the start of 2.5 years of chemotherapy treatment. And this treatment ended in March of 2015. I faced a lot of the typical side effects that you'd expect, like nausea, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, lack of energy. But I think I was pretty lucky because I don't have any long-term physical or mental effects, and I know a lot of people that do who have went through cancer as well. So I think I'm pretty lucky in that regard. But when I was diagnosed, I was in grade 7, so I was diagnosed in November. And I was only in school for those first 2 months, September and October. And then after that, I was taken out because I couldn't go, obviously. And I missed all of the remaining year of grade 7, and I also missed like over 50 days in grade 8 because of hospital appointments and just not feeling well in general. So you would think that maybe because I missed a large portion of a grade that maybe I would struggle academically. So just a little side story here. I think for anybody that did grade 7 in Ontario, you may know that a lot of what you did in grade 7 is not repeated in grade 8. So I didn't really struggle with anything that I did in grade 8. Because it wasn't based off what was done in grade 7. But there was one thing that most grade 7 kids would have to do, which was algebra. So I came back into grade 8 not knowing anything about algebra. So for me, it was completely new. I saw my classmates solving equations like 2x minus 4 equals 0. And I had no idea how to do that because, well, I didn't know math was supposed to have letters in it. I thought it was just all numbers. And then I found that out. But something that I think a lot of people may overlook about missing a year of school is the social impacts. And that's what really hit me. I was taken out of school and I had no connection with my friends after that because I think in grade 6, MSN used to be a big thing, and I used it a lot to connect to my friends and like message them. But then once I was taken out of school, that connection was gone. Like I would be able to see them at school, I could talk to them, do stuff with them. But after that was gone, I didn't really feel connection with them anymore because I wasn't seeing them. So that really sucked for me. And it took me about 2 to 3 years where I could recover my social skills to a point where I thought it was on par with how I was pre-diagnosis. So I think around the second half of grade 10 is when I finally thought that, okay, maybe now I've finally grown my social skills to a point where I think that they're okay. So this song, sorry, I lost my thought. So in grade 7, in grade 8, when I came back from my 1 year of absence, I just felt that I was really awkward to people. I gave a cold shoulder a lot. I wouldn't answer many questions. I didn't know how to talk to people even, because I hadn't gone out to any event for about an entire year after being diagnosed. And I'm not just rounding it off by a month or two. Like, I literally mean an entire year where I had not had much of a conversation with anyone that wasn't my close family or doctors and nurses at hospitals. But this actually taught me something, because I realized that if you have a problem or an obstacle, you have to face it with a positive mindset. If you just get sad, mad, or frustrated about it, you're probably going to spiral, especially with something as big as cancer. It can actually tear families apart. And I've heard stories of that from my mom, who's talked to other families that we've seen at the hospital. It's torn their family apart. And yeah, I just think using it as a positive opportunity, like for me as an example, I didn't just sit back and say, okay, well, I lost my social skills, I should just stay that way for the rest of my life. I tried working on it and improving them. And that's what I did. I'm still trying to do that now, because I still think I can improve them. Hence why I'm doing something like this. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never imagined that I would talk in front of so many people. But here I am. And I think the drive that I had back then to continue fighting was that I knew that one day life would be better, and it is, as it is right now. But that's still the motivation that I use today to continue working hard and improving myself and improving my life, because I can improve myself, I can add value to the community that I'm a part of. So I just think that that's the motivation behind what I do now, and how I hard work just so I can improve myself. And on this whole topic of growing and using whatever problems you face, turning them into advantages, not advantages, but opportunities for you to grow with a positive mindset. I'd just like to end this off with a quote that I kind of made up. I'm not sure if somebody else said it before, probably, but I've never heard it, so I'm just going to say it. It's a "When Life Gives You Lemons" quote. So if you've never heard of this, it's basically like a philosophical half sentence. So when life gives you lemons, so that means when life gives you a problem, what would you do with it? That's the second half of the sentence that you fill it up with. So what I would say is, when life gives you lemons, just eat them whole. It may be uncomfortable at first, and it may be way beyond what your taste buds can handle. But the next time life gives you lemons, you'll be more prepared, and you'll adapt. So once you get to that point, it won't be as bad as the first time, because you've already been through it once. And that's how you get stronger, by facing your problems head on with a positive mindset. Thank you everyone for listening to me. I hope you